Hey everyone, it's Ken.
Ray,
Two Drunk Brothers Garage.
We're back at Big Bertha Saga Part 3. We have decided we could not, in the previous video, we couldn't get that transmission separated from the bell housing. So we're going to put the bolts back in, take out the bell housing, the motor bolts, engine bolts, the 6 into the block of the engine, and we're going to try to split it there, which... Right. I don't know why we talked ourselves out of that in the previous video, but we did.
I think you didn't believe me that.
Well, I know. Well, okay, so I didn't believe Kenny. But anyhow, so this is going to probably be, well, short for us as far as timeline because Kenny just got off of work, so we're in the evening time here, and I don't know how late we're going to stick at this. Hopefully we get this slid out of here real quick. But first things first, we're going to climb back underneath there.
Put the 4 bolts back in the transmission to the bell housing.
We're going to leave the jack underneath because we got the drive shaft and everything out. We're just going to leave the transmission jack underneath there. We're going to pull out the 6 bell housing bolts.
And two front motor mount bolts.
Well, we got to hook up the chain fall first, but also we do still need to disconnect the fuel line. We can't forget that before we... pull the motor, or else we're going to tear stuff up.
Yeah.
But here we go. Part 3, Big Bertha Saga. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to put the 2 passenger side bolts back in right there. And then I'll slide over here, do those 2 on the driver's side. I took the easy side first because got to deal with that canister on the driver's side. Got lots of room on there. Kenny is up there getting... Kenny's up there getting the chain fall and the engine leveler ready to go on the motor. Well, everybody, just figured out why we couldn't get this transmission split. Like I said, we've never done one of these before, but that right there, what I thought was a dowel pin guide hole, after looking at it a little closer tonight, you can see threads in there. And I reached my hand up inside the inspection hole, which is right up underneath the cross member. So there's really no way to get in there with a tool, I don't think. But there's actually a bolt head up in there. So that's a bolt into the bell housing, into the transmission holding that on there. So I'm glad we didn't really pry on this and break something apart, but we were never getting it apart. Taking the transmission from the bell housing. Lessons learned. Big Bertha fought us and taught us. Okay, there's the 2 passenger side bolts in and torqued down to 2 or 3 ugga-duggas. And there's the 2 driver side bolts. Okay, we got the leveler on. We got the front 2 bolts out of the front mount. They were just 3/8 bolts. I don't know, pretty shaky. We got this just to, like I said, front head bolt, manifold bolts. I'm going to go ahead and start working on the 2 top bell housing bolts, probably from down below, hopefully. And then Kenny, we did find out that we got the choke cable right there. He's going to go ahead and disconnect that, and he's going to go ahead and disconnect the fuel line right there and crimp that off. The rubber hose, we got a special plier for crimping rubber lines shut. So hopefully they work. And I'm going to start like I said, doing the bell housing bolts. We got weight up. It popped up real quick off the front. So hopefully we're out of here real quick. I had forgotten we wanted to drain the oil on this thing before we started. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. About ready to get real dirty, of course.
Why, it's right over the, what you call it, isn't it?
No, it's actually pretty clear. This one is. Let's see if I can get the pan situated here real quick. And always, no matter what you do with draining oil, it seems like it's always seems like such a mess. I don't know when the last time this had an oil change, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking dark, isn't it?
It is. Anyhow, folks, there we go. Got the oil draining. All right, I don't know if you guys can see it, but right back there is one of the top bell housing bolts. The other one's right down in there. There's one right there. Then there's one down underneath that tab down there that you can't see from up top. And of course, the same over on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the top two, and then middle two, and then get the bottom two out. Kenny's got the choke cable disconnected. Show him those pliers. So those are the little...
You put it on there, squeeze down, and this slides up and down to keep it tight.
Supposedly, to pinch off the rubber hose to keep it from leaking. We'll find out.
They do work on radiator hoses. I got bigger ones. They work on radiator hoses too. Any rubber hose like the heater hose, which we'll have to rehook that up because...
Yeah, this is what they got for the heater hose right now instead of actually plugged into the firewall. We will put heat back in this, but anyhow, he's going to do the fuel line. I'm going to go do bell housing bolts. All right, so we got all the bell housing bolts out. One of them was super long than the other ones. Don't know why. None of them seem the same. But I'm guessing we're gonna start pulling this. We got to come up a little bit. I see a little daylight over here, a little gap already on the. Oh yeah, she's just slid forward a 1/4 inch. No, she's even more. 1/2 inch. Look at this, guys. Kenny's getting his stool back. We do got to make sure that doesn't slide up underneath this
and
metal.
Make sure we got to get it high enough for the oil filter canister to...
Wonder if we should have just broke that loose.
And taken it off because there's oil in there.
There is oil in there. Let's just see if we need to take it off, we can. And if we need to push Bertha back, we can always do that too.
Ooh.
What? Did she slide forward?
Oh yeah, she just slid forward. We're gonna have to push Bertha back.
Oh, now we got to push Bertha forward.
Or pull, yeah.
Or push the motor back.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to push the motor back. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Here, let's grab a... Oh, Ken's doing it. Ken's just... There we go. A little bit, just one more pull of the chain.
Yeah, but she's getting tight now.
What is?
The... Which way is that going? See, we're gonna be bound.
Just, can you give one little pull on the chain? Just one little pull. There you go. See? She's sliding forward.
Oh yeah, now we're on the oil filter.
Are we?
So now we need to bring Bertha forward a little bit. Oh, we got the jack under there too.
Well, why don't we just stop real quick and pull that filter off? All right, so we got it broken loose. It's out. We just got to push Big Bertha back so we can slide her right. It'll fit right between there. And she'll be done. But it's dinner time. Kenny's wife just come and said it was dinner time. So we're going to go grab a bite to eat and come back out, get this on the engine stand and call it a night. We're back from dinner. So now we're going to go ahead and see if we'll wiggle this around and get it out of here. All right, it's out. We were going to put it on the engine stand for tonight, but half-inch bell housing bolts, and we don't have anything long enough to go through the tabs
On the engine stand.
on the engine stand. So I got to stop tomorrow and get some, and then we'll get this mounted on the engine stand. We'll take it out, power wash it. We've got to get the clutch off. Clutch is almost all the way out, the pedal when you're releasing. So we don't know what transmission is in this. So we need to figure out what transmission it is so we know which clutch to get. And go ahead. We're gonna pull the truck out. We're gonna clean this up a little bit. Is what I'm saying here. We're not gonna paint over that. So we'll get it cleaned up. We were talking about, doing the Craigslist rebuild on the firewall, but we think that might be the original paint because there's chalk marks down there. Yep. So we're not sure we want to do that. We might spiff those up with some black spray paint on the inner fender.
Red.
But leave the firewall, clean it up, see how it looks. If it's original, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bloop it down in the comments, guys. We should probably put those 2 bolts back in that windshield washer before I forget.
Wiper motor, yeah.
Wiper motor, yeah.
Where are they at?
They're right here.
There.
They're right there. But this is it for the night. Kenny's got to go to work tomorrow. It's already 9 p.m. here. Actually, it might be after 9 p.m. now, but we are calling it a day. But it was a successful day.
After
we should have had this pulled out in part 2 video because we shouldn't have even dicked around with the transmission. We should have just pulled the bell housing bolt. I don't know why I talked myself out of that, but I did. But it doesn't matter. We got it.
we got her.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, brother.
Success.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody. End of part 3. She fought us.
And she taught us.
She's teaching us. She's fighting us. Big Bertha.
Yeah.
She's a testy old gal. That's okay.
And we just found out our engine stands won't fit on the engine.
Yeah, the 1,000-pound Harbor Freight, AIH up here, Napa, CarQuest, whatever engine stand, the ear tabs not even close.
Not to an international.
Right. 3/8-inch bolt, bell housing bolts on most. This is half-inch bolts.
Yeah.
We were gonna. I'll shop around tomorrow, see if we got something locally that we can put that up on a stand. If not, we're gonna use the cherry picker, and we can lift it up with the cherry picker so we can move it around. We'll have to pull the clutch off, pull the pan, do the rear seal.
Be nice to have the stand so we can flip it over and
yeah.
yeah.
But we'll do what we can do for what we got.
That's why we're Two Drunk Brothers Garage.
That's right. We just do what we can. We also did find out there was no way we were getting that transmission broken off that bell housing because there's two bolts inside the bell housing that goes
on the back side of the bell housing.
on the inside of the bell housing.
Yeah.
And through that inspection hole, I had previous in the video, I showed you guys where I could feel it up in there. I never even thought to go over to the other side because on the outside, it doesn't look like it looked like a dowel pin on the passenger side. I don't see any evidence of that on the driver's side. Not saying it's not there covered in dirt, but we're just gonna we would have never split that. I don't know why I talked us out of taking the bell housing bolts out of in part 2. We would have had this out 2 days ago.
Yep.
Part 2 and part 3 videos is 2 days apart. So anyhow, doesn't matter. It's done. It's actually 3 days.
Yeah.
It's actually 3 days. But she's out, and we'll re-gasket it, clean it up, clean up the engine compartment.
Yep.
Stick her back together. Oh, we're going to search for a clutch.
Yep.
We are going to pull the transmission down and power wash it, get it cleaned up.
Put a new clutch, a new throw-up bearing.
Try to find some ID marks on it.
So we can find out what clutch this thing needs.
Right. Because like we said, the data plate on the dashboard in here says it was a Fuller AT13, I think. It doesn't matter.
I can look.
But it was a 13-speed transmission. This is a 5-speed. So we don't know what
Fuller Road Ranger RT613 is the shift pattern sticker on the dash.
Man, he slammed that door.
I barely touched that thing. There's no insulation in the truck. But
unless we're not understanding, unless there's some magical button that gives you, we know that it's a high-low rear end in this, which we still need to troubleshoot.
But there's only 5 gears.
There's only 5 gears unless we're missing something. Unless that really is the transmission, and we're just complete idiots, which, well, we are, but we'll find out. If it tells us it's a Fuller transmission, then we'll know we're doing something wrong.
But I don't think it's the original. But like you said, don't know until we get some numbers off of it.
Yep. Yeah, we don't know. Anyhow, folks, we sure would. Yeah, thanks for watching. We'd appreciate a comment,
subscription.
Subscription doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us out. We're just trying. We're just trying to get to 500 subscribers right now.
Yep.
We're halfway there, a little over halfway. Been a long time coming to get there, but hey, we're not really doing this. We're just doing this for fun.
Yep.
So
it'd be nice to be like Mr. Beast and make billions of dollars, but we know that ain't gonna ever happen.
I don't want that either. Nope. Don't want that.
No. But anyways, cheers everybody.
Cheers everybody.
Brother.
Cheers, brother.
See you in part 4.
Ken.
Ray.
Two Drunk Brothers
Garage.